Good morning, everybody. I hope you are doing well today. I'm hopping on for our weekly challenge hour live where we're gonna do a layout together. And today I'm excited because I am using the Noteworthy Days Collection, which I don't harp on enough how wonderful it is. But it is. It's amazing, and I've already ordered it like 3 different times now, just because I use it so much. So that is what I'm doing today. If you are here, go ahead and say hello. I'd love to hear from you. If not, and you're watching the replay, let me know that you watched the replay. All right, so every week we go through our weekly challenge that I post in Ashley's Scrappy VIP. So if you're not in there, go request to join. And this one's gonna be really cool because we're doing a little border action, some corner rounding, some folding. So we're getting the whole technique in today. Like I said, I am using the Noteworthy Days Collection. I love it in the Cyclic Circles BMC, which is a coordinating border maker cartridge for this collection, and I have used this repeatedly as well. So I highly recommend all of this for your stash just because it's so versatile with those bold colors. And I'm going to show you the stickers in a second too, but it's for every season and it's great. And so today I'm actually doing back to school pictures from this last year, and yeah, it's gonna work out great for that too, just because of the colors. So doing that, and we got these cute embellishments that come with the collections, like really great for journaling. I like the little tags that you can use just to write a date on. There's circles, there's all kinds of things. Like I said, I've used quite a bit up as well, so I like the arrows. These little gears are really cool. So I love that collection for this. And then we have stickers. Who doesn't love stickers? So what's really neat about this collection is it came with a set of 6 sheets, and they have all the holidays and seasons and everything. So as you can see, there's January, like party and Happy New Year and balloons. And then down here you get into February, and it's like hearts and coffee, because you know you need coffee in winter. I need coffee all the time, but that's beside the point. Vacation, because a lot of people go away, especially in Michigan. They go away down south for vacation. I'm sure that's true all over, but we tend to go south in the winter months. And then we have March with St. Patrick's Day and birds, and Earth Day, Mardi Gras. It's really cool. And then we have April with Easter and spring and rain and all the fun stuff. May is more gardening, Cinco de Mayo. They thought of everything, okay? And then Mother's Day, graduation. June, I love the June one. There's camping and a guitar, and I love it. Father's Day stuff, so really cool. July, we have like snorkels and those iconic 4th of July pops, you know, and all that stuff. We have like this flamingo float too. It's super cute. We've got August with a kayak. So I'm just showing you guys all the details because I think these are so fun and they really thought through a lot of things. Okay, I'm a fall girly, so this is like my favorite sheet right here. And the next one, football, September, back to school, Labor Day. I'm actually probably going to use a few of these today. And then we have Halloween. I love the pumpkin spice latte. How fun is that? Breast cancer awareness, trick or treat, obviously. All the fun things. I love football. Oh my goodness. Thanksgiving. My favorite holiday is actually Thanksgiving. We got the pumpkin and the pumpkin spice candle, pumpkin pie, all that stuff. Boots. And then we get into winter, December, Christmas, obviously, Hanukkah, all the fun. So I love this collection. I love the stickers. And then they also came with another set of stickers. And these are like clear back stickers. When you peel them up, they're clear and they stand out on your page. So they also have like holidays on here. You know, it has spring, summer, autumn, winter, all the months. These are great for like a planner, I think, but they're great for a scrapbook too. So HBD, happy birthday, in case you didn't know what that meant. Date night, just more words, you know, more things like that, whereas these are a little more icons, some words here and there. So I really am digging this collection. Like I said, I've ordered a couple times now because I love it, and most of my customers love it. I've ordered it a few times for them too, so I highly recommend it. And the paper pack, you guys, that's like the most important part. there's the designer paper, and as you can see, there's lots of bold earth tones in there, so it's great for everything. So I've seen people use this for baby books, for holidays, for fall, for everything. I'm using it for back to school today, so it's a very versatile collection. And then there's also tone on tone paper. I put my paper together in one folder, so that's why it's like this. That will like go with the other paper. And this is CM's Evergreen collection this year, so it'll be around, so you can rely on it to be in stock and all that as well. And then we also have the mats. So the mats are really cool. I like how they're doing them now. A little bigger, you can journal, you can cut them in half, you can just put a photo on them, put a title on. I showed you how to use mats in creative ways last week, if you remember my reel and my Tuesday tip. So these are great for that. You can cut around, make a title, you know. So we got those. So yes, this is a great collection. I had to, you know, share about it because I feel like it's a lost cause. If I don't, you guys would be missing out. So we're going to use that today and with our cyclic circles. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I got my instructions. You can print these off my blog. It's scrappyandiknowit.com. And we are in challenge 24, which is hard to believe, which means we're almost halfway through the year. June is like, what is it, the 18th? So yeah, June is like almost gone, you guys. It's crazy. So okay, you guys are going to be, hot take, you're going to be mad at me. I love fall. I'm ready for fall. I'm over the heat already. So, and you're all just like, okay, unfollow you. Anyway, and that's okay, right? You can like summer because I get annoyed when summer is in my fall. So I think you're probably annoyed when fall gets in your summer. But I'm ready for fall. I love pumpkin everything, as I said. All right, so we're gonna start step one. It says on here, use the Chevron Arrows Border Maker cartridge, which is also a wonderful one, to punch both sides in the top of the airplane tonal paper. So you use the Wanderlust collection for theirs. We're obviously using Noteworthy Days. So I decided I'm using this blue paper actually to go ahead and punch on. I'm using a lot of tonals today. I just realized, which is fine. Then I'm gonna need my border maker. Love this tool, y'all. It's amazing. If you don't have it, I highly recommend it. Just because you put your little cartridge in there and it slides right out, and you can buy a ton of these different shaped cartridges, and you just put your paper in here and you go to town. So I'm gonna demonstrate that here for you. So we are punching all the sides except the bottom. All right, so we're gonna go through, and you wanna make sure when you do this, you don't have a border maker cartridge. This is an important point, I should probably point out. You wanna make sure the metal connects on both sides, okay? Because then it's gonna punch off the page. This you want in your page. So this will just knock out these shapes. You don't wanna chain, which means both sides will come off. I suppose you could do an edge with this, and what I mean by edge is like the notebook edge. It's connected on the metal on one side. On the other side, it's disconnected, okay? And that's how you can tell these apart. If you can put a tool in there, this is an edge. If you can't put a tool on the side, then it's an edge, right? A chain, let me find a chain, like the Shutter Love here, there's no metal on either side, all right? You can put a tool on both sides, and it's gonna pull off of your whole page. So if I punch this right now, a whole chain's gonna fall off, right? If I did the edge, it would just chomp out the edge. I'm using I call a knockout, which will leave the entire paper intact, but just punch like a shape punch out shapes, okay? So hopefully that makes a little sense. I know it's confusing for a lot of people, and I get it. There's a lot of pieces to remember with border makers, but once you do it and you use them, you'll know the difference pretty quick. So we're gonna go ahead and punch all the way down. You're just sliding and lining up, and you'll feel the metal lock in, so you can't mess it up, really. I mess it up sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. And what's cool about these, as you can see, it's still intact. My paper still has the edge on it. It's just knocking out shapes. And I have all these fun little circles that I can choose to use later if I want, or I can just throw them away. Gotta slide my mat down here. All right. And then we're gonna go ahead and do the top edge. And you guys are gonna see the corners of this are gonna look a little messy, and that's okay. That's why we fold over the corners. So I'm sure that was a little bit intimidating, or is a little bit intimidating for you guys to punch the corners, because you're like, well, what about the pretty corners? And that's why we fold over, so it's okay. So I'm gonna do it again and see how my corner is like crazy looking. It's okay. We're gonna make it work. It'll be fine. We're gonna punch all the way down again. And if you have directional paper, you want to pay attention to which way you're punching. Just because you're gonna know that one of these is gonna be the top, right? So you want to keep that in mind. Mine's very tonal, so it doesn't really matter. I like to clean up between, just because things don't get as gummed up. All right, and now we're gonna do one more edge here. Lock it in place. And we're gonna work our way down one more time. Such a wonderful tool. I love this thing. It's my favorite. All right, there we go. And now we got our top sheets ready to go. And actually the corners don't look too bad. I could use it like that, but we're not going to. So if your corners are crazy looking and they look like, oh, that's ugly, don't worry, we're gonna cover it up anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and put all this back. I don't need it anymore. Oops. I just like to clean up a little bit after punching borders. All right. So there we go. There's our first step done. All right, so number 2, put your punch piece on top of a piece of dark brown leather tonal paper. So what they're saying is you're going to use this piece and you're going to put this on top. Now, I look at this and I go, look at all this paper underneath that's getting wasted, you guys. It's covered. So what I'm actually going to do is I know I'm going to use this brown for our other piece here. And I need 10 inches of it, 10 by 8.5. And so what I'm gonna do is go ahead and cut that out now. So that's gonna be step 3. I'm gonna skip ahead to that, and then I'm gonna use the scraps from this to hopefully be able to fill in. And maybe it won't work, but I can always go get another piece of paper if I need to. I just don't want to waste all that paper that's gonna be in the middle there. And if you don't want to use the same paper, you can just gut a little bit, like I do for a frame. But really, when you gut, you're just gonna like cut right from the edge up to about this far, and then go to the other edge. You know, again, leaving a good couple inches to go up about this far, and then turn your paper and go like this. Okay, so that's how you're gonna kind of gut that if you want to save what's in the middle there. Okay, rather than taking up a whole piece of paper just to fill in what you punched out. All right, so I need a piece that is 10 by 8.5. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. That way I can use what's remaining, hopefully, for the rest. And that's okay, because I wasn't really sure what color I was using underneath my punches anyway. So I need 10 by 8.5. So there's my 10 and my 8.5. And it looks like I probably will need more paper, honestly. It looks so small. Okay. It was 8.5, right? I always make sure before I cut, because I'm like, oh. All right, so I'm gonna set this aside. This is for step 3. I just wanted to know what scraps I had left to use for going underneath my punched part, okay? So we're back to step 2 again. All right, so rather than waste a whole sheet of paper under here, I'm gonna try to make this work. So we know my punch, it's about 1 inch wide, and a little over maybe. I like to put it on my mat here and kind of look. I think 1 inch would be okay. So this is 2, so I'm gonna be able to cover at least 2 of them. Oops, I keep reaching over there for my trimmer because it's usually over on that side. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this in half because this is 2 inches and get 1 inch out of both sides, okay? This is risky, but it's gonna be okay, I think. All right, so rather than waste a whole piece of paper underneath, I'm gonna cut strips and I'm gonna fill in essentially. And then for the top, I'm probably gonna need a couple of these. I'm gonna do 1.5 inches just to give myself more room. Another 1.5 inches. I'm probably gonna need 2 to help put those in. Okay. I'm a major paper saver, so it's interesting. All right, so I'm gonna flip this over, and I love this side too. It's so pretty. And oops, I wanna make sure I go the right way. I want the brown under there, not the blue. Okay, so I'm gonna get my silicone mat. If you don't have a silicone mat, you can use wax paper too, or just rub it off in a mat when you're done. But I'm gonna use Repositional tape runner, which is great for little intricate things like this. And just kind of put it on here gently. I probably don't need to plaster between everyone. You just want to make sure your edge is really good. And then I'm going to take my strip here and strategically place this over where it's punched, okay? Like so. And you can rub off the excess Repositional, which is great. This is why I love Repositional, because where I stick it, where I don't want it to be sticky, I can rub it right off. So, look at that. All right, so now we have this filled in. Look at that. Really cool. Okay, was I supposed to trim the corner? Probably. Trying to remember how I was supposed to do this. Okay, I'll go back and do it. It's Repositional, so I can move it if I need to. All right, and then on the other side, I'm gonna do the same thing. Okay. Once again, kind of using my Repositional, especially on this bottom corner here. You want to make sure that's on there pretty good. It's not peeling back, because you want the illusion that you have a whole nother piece of paper under there, but you're just being smart about it and saving paper. I'm such a paper saver, because I love my paper. I want to be able to use it again and again, especially this collection, because I've ordered it so many times now. All right, so there's our other one. And then for this side, okay, for the corners, I'm trying to remember. Blah, blah, blah. For the design, oops, strips. It's funny because I read through this before hopping on, and I'm already like, how did you do the corner again? Cut a piece of stripe paper to measure and add it to the top of the page from the back side to complete the corners. Okay, so we are just simply going to put another sheet over this, and it's going to be fun. Just wanted to make sure I was being proactive here. All right, and then we have this strip. Ooh, one would do it, actually. Look at that. I'm not a math girl. Like, I'm a very visual person, so when I did that math in my head, it didn't work out. And it actually will work out, because I forgot I have the excess stuff here from the other strips I put on. So that's pretty cool. Okay. I did this one a little thicker, just for a little more coverage. Look at that. So I only needed one. I can save this strip. Wonderful. All right. So there we go. It looks like there's a whole piece of paper under there, but really it's just strips. So that's pretty cool. So that's one way to do it. The other way is you could just slap it on a piece of paper or cut it, whatever you want to do. All right, so put your punch piece on, fold the top two corners as shown. All right, so what we're gonna do with this, you can add a square like on top of this and fold one over, or you can simply fold this over after trimming back this part here. Okay, so I'm gonna get my micro tips. I probably could have done this before covering this, but that's okay. I'm just gonna get rid of some of this mess here because we're gonna hide it anyway. So trim off like this icky part. All right, and what I'm gonna do is take this and we're gonna fold it over. And in hindsight, I probably could use a different color, but that's okay. I could always use a square too. So let me see what I got in my scraps. So like if you don't like the other side of your other paper, you could, you know, pull out some other pieces. I was thinking about this green, because I think a top of green would be cool. I also have my mats, in which I had a scrap in here, I thought. I had like part of a mat. So if you have scraps of mat, that's another way you can use mats. And you also have this paper that I love a lot, so maybe I'll use that. Just thinking through how I want to do this. Okay, so if I fold this down, I could add this corner. So really we're just going to cut a little square and add it to the corner to kind of help hide this even more. I need to do a little more trimming here. And since I use strips, it's a little trickier rather than using a whole piece of paper, and that's okay. It's going to be fun because we're going to cover it. Okay. All right. I think I'm going to use this light brown because I really like it. Okay, so we're going to cut 1 by 12. It says 12. Why does it say 12? Oh, because they have it going all the way down. I see. I'm just going to cut squares because, again, I am a paper saver. So it's going to do 1 inch or so. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. I want to do a little bigger, actually. Yeah, I'm going to do a little bigger. I think I'm going to actually err on the larger side for this because I use strips, not paper. So, not a whole sheet. So just eyeball it, see what works for you. And like I said, I'm a very visual person, so I like to see what's gonna happen. I can't like see it in my head. I have to watch it happen. So, okay, so something like that is what we're aiming for to kind of complete our look, right? I'm gonna trim this down even more. And I could trim this square in half essentially and have my other side, so I'll probably do that just so I can keep it. It's gonna not be exactly square, but I think that'll be okay. Gotta go slow when it's that small of a piece. All right, that way I can cover both sides. All right, so what I'm gonna do, kind of put this in this corner. I like to line my whole thing up like that. And I'm gonna use my mini tape runner, I think. Just go right along the edge there. Because I like the mini tape runner because it's just this fine little mini squares of lines. And it hugs the edge a lot better. You could also use Repo, you could also use a regular tape runner. But mini is really great for this kind of job. So that and frames, I like to use my mini tape runner for. All right, and I'm gonna go to my other side. And again, I'm gonna attempt to fold this part down. Since I use the strips, it made it a little more difficult, but that's okay. It's not one congruent piece there. So something to note if you try that method. Like I said, I read through it and I didn't quite process what was gonna happen there, so. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in this corner because I wanna know I'm lined up. Trying to inch it in there, okay. And then I'm gonna line up the rest of my layout on the mat, squared up. Oops, of course I didn't square up the bottom, go figure. A little tedious, and it's honestly probably easier just to cut a strip like they say in the instructions. Like I said, I like to save my paper, so this is me being resourceful, I guess. Gotta line that up a little better there. There we go. All right, so now we have this. I'm gonna trim away more that's not seen here of my punched out stuff. Luckily I use Repo, so it's not going to rip anything. I'm going to kind of square that up. And I'm just going to kind of, you know, trim it down, make it look tidy. The micro tips are great for that. Yeah, this one's going to be interesting because it's not the same piece of paper I'm folding, and that's okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. Just want to get rid of that excess that's going to show there. Okay, something like that. And then once you're ready, you can go ahead and push down. There's going to be a couple little pieces that got complicated there. All right, like so, and I think that's good enough for me. I am not a perfect scrapbooker. You're gonna learn that about me if you don't know already. I'm like, oh, it's a page done, and it looks fine to me, so. Okay, again, this one's gonna be a little weird. Trim that corner back a little more on my punch there. Oops, I'm taking the other sheet with me though, unfortunately. I made this way more tedious than it had to be, simply because I didn't line my strips up properly. And that's okay. There we go. That looks a little better. Okay. All right. Sorry you guys saw the top of my head there. All right. And I'm probably going to add embellishments there anyways. It's okay. All right. So we already did our next step. We cut our piece that's going to go right here. Yay. Still looks too big. So I'm going to remeasure that, I think. So cut a piece of lighter leather designer paper to measure 10 by 8.5. Use a 2-way corner rounder. I think it's a little big. So I could, nope, that's the dark side. I'm going to actually cut this down a little more to actually do a true 10. I'm wondering if it's because the chevron punch is a little more narrow. This one's a little wider. So you might have to adjust according to the punch you use. So I'm going to cut another little, maybe 1/2 inch off. It's not a big deal. Just want a little more room to wiggle there. And like I say with every layout we do, make it work for you. Make it work for your photos. Don't worry about adjusting. That's what I'm here for, to show you it's okay to adjust, okay? That's probably my claim to fame, is adjust as needed. So, and now we're gonna corner round. I love my corner rounder. I'm using all the tools I love today, and I think that's awesome. Corner round. All right, look how cute. I'm so excited. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and throw this down on our paper, on our base here. Line it up like so. Here we go. Okay, so now it's coming together, yay. We already did that. We added to page for the design above. So what I'm talking about is this little piece here. You can take a mat. They're called laser cut mats. I don't know if I have any right now. And they had one from the Wanderlust collection that made it look like a suitcase handle. I'm not going for a suitcase look. So I might just put like a title there or like another mat just to fill in that space. So I might take a gander through my mats here and just see what we have, you know, just for a little extra design. Oh, there's that scrap I couldn't think. It's like something like this would be really cute. Tuck it in there. I don't really care for that color, but you get the idea. Not in half would be kind of cute, actually. I kind of want to stay away from browns. I have a lot of brown going on and blue. I'm thinking like a green maybe, or a light. Somebody. A title might not work there as well. It's gonna get hidden probably. I could do a title like that perhaps. Just trying to find one that I like or a color I like. Today's adventure. Oh, that's cute. Might do that. I might just cut that off. There we go. Or I can cut a piece of paper. Noteworthy Days. Oh, that's cute too. Today's moments, tomorrow's memories. That's so fun. I like the green actually. Or I could stick a title there. I might come back to that part after I get my photos done, just because I'm not 100% sure what I want to do there yet. But in lieu of that, I'm going to probably add a little design there with a mat or a piece of paper. So next, okay, so we're just going to put mats on. We're going to mat our photos, put them on, add some, you know, add some journaling, add some embellishments, all that fun. So again, I could use mats to mat my photos. That's, you know, that's the power of mats right there. These photos are going to be smaller, so I'm not sure if mats are going to work out as well for those. And I'm thinking I want to use, there's a lot of blue happening here, I know. I really like the light blue. Ooh, the dark brown's cool too. So let's just go ahead and trim this down so I can get a better look at it. Trying to watch time for you guys too. All right. Perfect. All right, so that gives me an idea of what my photo sizes are. Ooh, I think I like the dark brown actually. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. And since my photos are not the same size as a 4x6, we are probably going to put them on there and cut them out. That's how I roll. Oh goodness, where'd that come from? Sticking to my tip. Leftover remnants of my corners. Okay, I could do a thicker mat. We'll do kind of middle of the road. How about that? Just gonna kind of line these up. And again, I'm eyeballing, which sometimes gets me in trouble, but it's okay. And I'm just gonna cut them out because I know my photo sizes are so weird. I don't want to do the math to figure out how big my mats need to be, so I just eyeball it. Again, I'm a visual person, not a math person, I say. All right, there we go. Cool. Now, the other thing I could do if I really want to go crazy is double mats and trim this down even more if I wanted to and double mat it, or I could, you know, offset it like something really cute like that. I actually like the green a lot. I really like this green. I might do that actually. Just to add a little spice to it. I might cut a couple more. Ooh, the lines are fun too. Okay, I might cut a couple more little mats just to add. So these are, sorry, my brain, the hamster is thinking in my brain, how big to make these? I'd probably do like a 6x4 and 3/4. Okay. So this right now is 10, 4 3/4. Gonna need my longer arm. There you go. Again, I need 4 3/4. You're all probably watching me going, there's an easier way to do this, Ashley. You know, my brain's not brainy right now. It needs more coffee. The hamster needs more coffee, y'all. Let's see. There we go. All right. Let me see how this looks. If I don't like it, that's okay. But I kind of like having just like an offset look there, and you can do this like however you want. Might be harder, or I can just double mount, or I could use one. Let's see what that would look like. My brown piece might be a little too small. Ooh, I don't mind that either. I'm going rogue, okay, as I do sometimes. I might add that in the middle like that. I kind of like that. I think we're gonna do that just to fill it in a little more because my pictures are shorter than the example. I'm gonna set that kind of offset like that. Going off book. I do that all the time and it's great. Creativity, that's how we roll. All right. There we go. How cute. All right, and then I have this one. I could add, you know, up here like I was trying to do before and put a title on it. Maybe I will. I might do that. Because there's all of these cool title stickers I can use. Pull them back out here. Excuse me. My allergies are trying to kill me right now, so I'm just, It is like the peak of my allergies right now this time of year. It's like between Memorial Day and 4th of July. I'm like, can't breathe. It's terrible. Okay. So what I like about these stickers are they are like see-through. So I could put them on here and use them. I don't know if I like any of the titles right now for this. Looking at them quick here. There's a thank you teachers. Oh, there is a back to school one. I'm afraid the green will get lost on the green though. So I think I'm gonna stick with one of these, which I love. I love all of these. Okay, first day of school. Look at that with little books. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. So maybe, not sure how that's gonna work. I do have other like back to school stickers too that might work for this. I should have pulled those out before I got started. My apologies. There we go. Got my big. So how I organize, let's just go there. I put like school stuff, any school collections that I have that have ever come out, go in this folder, including my embellishments, paper packs, coordinating cardstocks. Like here's my back to school paper in here along with older versions of it. Our school colors are blue and gold. So I have like the, what was it called? The Heart to Help or whatever, the one that they offered for, Ukraine a couple years ago. That's in here because that's our school colors. So I'm like, that's probably what I'm going to reach for. So anything that makes sense for back to school, I put in here. My girly stuff, because you know, she's my kid. So I have some more titles in here I'm gonna look at. And see, I have like volleyball stuff in here, gymnastics, anything that has to do with her and her extracurriculars and all that. So we also have these I can use. I also have stickers. And again, I usually sign off when I go to embellish because I know I'm so indecisive. And it's even worse when I'm on a live, so I get nervous, okay? School, look at that, if you just put school. I actually kind of like how that pops. I don't like that it's yellow and green just because I'm an arrogant Bears fan, but if that makes any sense. Back to the books, that's cute. Oh my word, that might be the one. I might mat that on there and put it above. Like that. And it's not even better, it's not yellow and green. If you're a Bears fan, holler at me. If you don't know what I'm talking about, holler at me. Okay. Let's see. I might do that. I like that a lot. It's going to be a little more cut down than the long piece I was thinking, but that's okay. So again, I'm just going to throw this on here and cut around it because that's how I roll. You guys are seeing the behind the scenes of me embellishing and how ridiculous it is, and you're gonna see in a minute like why I sign off usually. Because I'm like literally digging in other collections now and looking for things. Hey, if it works, it works, right? Just get the page done. Kind of wanna just filling space. That's what I'm trying to do here. So when I don't really know where to put things, I kind of look here. And I don't really like it in the middle. I kind of like it offset. Maybe over here. Maybe kind of over both worlds here. Yes. All right. And then I can put these little books like down here. Look how cute. Oh my gosh. Okay. I didn't put them on there too hard because I know I'm going to add a couple other things. Perhaps with it. I had a little blue tag that I was going to use, and then, oh my goodness, you guys, literally a minute before I hit go live, my whole tripod fell over and knocked everything everywhere. I think this was one. And I need a new tripod because mine is cheap, and that was my first mistake. I got a cheap one, and it hates holding my tablet up, so it'll tend to lean. I've tried weighing it down, and it's like the joint in the middle that bends. It doesn't lock up anymore. So that's on my Christmas list this year. A new, more expensive tripod, so my stuff doesn't fly everywhere, because this has happened a couple times. Luckily not during a live, which would be stinking entertaining for you all. if that were to ever happen. Oh, I like the arrows. Those are cute. I might do something like that, actually. I like the first day of school too, but I have the back to the books now. The stars are really cute. I feel like something needs to go with these books, so I'm gonna place a star, I think. And it's funny too, because you think like leaves and, you know, crisp autumn air. It was so hot that day, the first day of school. I remember it being so hot. So I'm like, yeah, leaves don't work here. So funny. All right, I'm gonna use these arrows because I think they're super cute. And they're perfect for something like this. Again, Noteworthy Days. It's the majority of this page. The only thing that's not Noteworthy Days is this title I just pulled out. That's it. So I'm in love with this collection. And I was like, I need to use that in a live sometime. Especially before the collection goes away. So you all can see how cool it is. Alright, then I'm going to do my little bit of journaling on this little tag. Right there. So fun! Okay, I love it. It turned out better than I thought. I was a little worried once I got to the corners and they're going awry. In fact, I'm gonna cover with these stars, I think. I have some like questionable pieces on my corners here. And these stars will be just fine to hide them. Look at that. It's like they're meant to be there. And then I have, ooh, I like the paper airplane. Maybe I'll add that to one of these that needs a little more TLC. Look at that, we have a page. It's amazing. So yes, I love this layout for this. Just keep in mind when you do this, you might have to adjust sizes depending on your BMC. That's what I learned today. This was supposed to be 10 inches. I cut a ½ inch off just because the chevron that's used in the example is much thinner than the cyclic circles, I realized. So just so you know, adjust, trim your photos how you need. Just do whatever you need to, you know, just get the page done. This is merely for inspiration. So I hope this was helpful. If you have questions, holler at me. If you're on my VIP page, remember to post this by Thursday at 11:59 for your shot at my drawing. I'd love to see what you guys do either way. So if you're not on my VIP page, post it here. I'd love to see it in the comments. If you're on my YouTube, please go join my YouTube. These lives go away after 30 days on Facebook, which is so sad, but I archive them on YouTube, so you can always go back and rewatch them, but you have to follow my YouTube to find them. So go follow that, like, and subscribe when you see me post the link later. And if you're on my YouTube watching this, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're not already, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Happy creating. I can't wait to see what you guys do.